Okay, Tashina, go ahead. We're recording.
Alrighty, we can go ahead and get started. So we are starting our executive module for those that have access to it. And for those that don't have access to it, I tried to find as many of the videos that were either on YouTube or Vimeo or just existed somewhere out there to send. And then we'll show you and can email you some of the other just PDF documents if you don't happen to have them. And then there was a book that we were going to discuss this extensively, which is definitely something that you want to have when you're a senior star and you're trying to stabilize your business. So I will go ahead and share my screen. All right, so the first video, A Day in the Life of Young Living, A Day with Young Living, which is very interesting because Julie just did this and she encouraged us to do our own videos as well. So if you haven't had time to do that, that's a good project. But what were some of the things that I guess you guys learned from this video, or was a reminder or good or important about this video?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I'll start. I actually prefer from Game Plan, Sarah Harnish's take on this, A Day of Life in. So I do like how she had her kids kind of record their life, going through using some of the different Young Living products and things like that. So we got together and kind of did something similar to that to share. And I know it's nice to share that in our classes because it kind of gives just an overview, but also for some reason, sometimes people kind of stop with like oils and it's like, oh, but I don't need more oils. But you're like, yeah, but you're still using toxic soap and you're still using toxic makeup. And, you know, so they have to understand and be able to visualize like the full spectrum of like, this is a lifestyle. Like you're going to be gradually making changes all throughout your home and all throughout your life.
Yeah, and I'll kind of tag on to that because a lot of times I feel like people are looking for someone or something to emulate. And so the nice thing about having a video like that is very much personal and shows how you use different products within your home or even at your workplace, in your car, et cetera, it kind of gives people a model, those who are looking to have something to follow on where they can start, you know, because it's kind of like how Dana was saying that, you know, a person may, you know, not be able to see beyond oils, or, you know, the reality is they need more than the oils that just come in the premium starter kit. And so like, what are some other areas that they could apply Young Living in their life? And something like that gives them a very good, just a visual aspect of it. So I feel like it's very important to do.
Andrea?
Sorry, was fighting with my phone. I kind of liked the variety of what they showed. Some of them I was like, okay, like I see what you're doing, but some of them were very exciting and like they were excited and they were kind of interesting to watch. I remember the one guy was like, okay, I use this oil for this and this oil for this and this oil for this. I was like, it looked like a grocery list, but I just thought it was interesting. And I can see what Anthony was saying about how that would be good to share with people coming into the organization to help them to see the ways that Young Living can help you individually. It's something to consider once I have a house that is worthy of showing on a video.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, do I just show my front room or what am I going to do? Because the rest of my house is junky. It's like, but yeah, I thought it was really interesting that this sits at the beginning of the executive training, right? So you would be a senior star at this point in time. And definitely, I think that Sarah Harnish's video is awesome to show during a class. But I thought that this, again, I enjoyed the variety of it. And I thought that, you know, it was really good to have at executive because some people do hit senior star. And like you guys were just stating, They don't even understand that there's more than oils, or they're like, I can't spend 100, or I don't know what to use my ER points. And I'm thinking, we have 700 products. How can you not spend 300? Like, I have a 2-person household and I have trouble spending under 500. Like, I don't understand. And so I think hearing that I say that all the time when I'm talking to people, we have 700 products. And it's like, I say it so much, I think they don't even hear it anymore. For them to see this video and someone else doing it, I think it's awesome, giving them another perspective.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. That's something from the beginning. Monica had no problem getting me on ER. I was like, okay, I can save what? Because this kit doesn't have everything I need. And I went on ER right away because I wanted the Ningxia Red. And just between the sleek products that I'm using and the Ningxia Red, I'm over $500. You know what I mean? So it's like, what do you mean you can't spend 50 or $100? What are you using?
Right,
Because
exactly.
certainly you're not using anything Young Living makes.
Exactly.
My daughter who doesn't work, she's chronically ill. She has an order that gets so close to $300 every month, and she's not selling. These are just the products she uses every month, and then I add to hers to get her up to the limit, so she can get all the free stuff that month. So, like, if my daughter who's on SSDI has said this is important to me, and she's ordering, I don't understand.
Right. So yeah, I get another avenue, and again, another reason why we want to make sure every single person on our team is going through Vital 180, because this will be another point where someone else is communicating to them the breadth of the product line so that they can know what they need to order. So then the next tool was there's actually a lot of information on the Raindrop. I don't even remember this being here. There's a whole video if you want to do an amateur version of the Raindrop on someone. So I thought that was pretty cool. And, if we have prospects that are massage therapists, this is a good tool in order to send to them about how they can incorporate oils on a regular basis into their business. Any other thoughts on that?
Yeah, I just want to add to that too. I don't know, Bae, can you let them see what I've been working on?
Let me see if I can rotate the camera.
So we're over his parents' house right now, but I'm working on spinning out some mailers and prospect things. And so I have like all my little tools laid out or whatnot. And so I've been going through and finding different spas and salons in our area. And one thing that I have been focusing on is talking about the Raindrop. Again, how you can incorporate these oils, how you can bring another stream of revenue into your business. And it was funny because actually 2 spas that I was looking through actually do use Young Living oils and do have Raindrop. So I was just thinking with that alone, that can help leverage us as well. Like, hey, that spa that's down the street from you, they offer this too. Would it be something you're interested in? So I do think, again, it's a little niche, so that might appeal to a lot of people in different spas and things like that. Another service that they can add, and then it's good for people afterwards to pick up the oils and stuff.
All right, so the next tool was just a little worksheet about branding yourself. So if anyone, again, it doesn't have access to the executive training and you need me to send this to you, let me know. But this had some really good information. So I don't know, anyone that's on the call, if you got a chance to read this, you want to share some key points that, we've heard really over and over again when it comes to like social media and your brand. But anyone want to share what they got out of it or the things they like?
So I'll go and speak on that, because I feel like this is something that a lot of times we sort of miss. Because we're so excited maybe about being part of such a wonderful company like Young Living and the opportunity. And so we get caught up in becoming pretty much this cookie cutter mold of a Young Living distributor. And I feel like Lindsay Teague Marino talks a lot about this because she was able to build her business mostly through social media. But one thing she stressed when we went to convention and she talked about the idea of branding, she's like, Young Living is not your brand. That is Gary and Mary Young's company that they created. It's not even their brand, you know? So, you know, when you're thinking about even using social media to communicate with individuals, don't necessarily like douse your page in just pictures of product or, you know, the premium starter kit, because that's not branding yourself. That's just showing pictures of what Young Living has to offer. So think about who you are as an individual and how Young Living fits into that. So I distinctly remember Lindsay Teague Marino talking about, she was like, not saying that she didn't care about oils, but she was like, I'm not passionate about oils whatsoever. She has like another company that she runs that is supported by Young Living. Like the funds that she makes from Young Living goes to support that. But she's like, understand my brand is who I am and Young Living is what I use. And so I know myself personally, I have branded myself as the man on the move. That's what my business cards say. They do not say anything about Young Living oils, but I want to get across that I am the man on the move and I use Young Living products. So that way that your brand is something that's relatable, and Young Living just happens to be something that fits into that part of you, or it's part of what you use.
I appreciate you explaining that, Anthony, because you can read the words but not quite picture how it's applied. And I think the way that you explained it there made that whole PDF make a little more sense. Because in my mind, I was thinking about branding as like your name, you're basically your company, but I didn't quite get that. But I did appreciate from the paper itself the point of making sure that your everyday persona and your brand are matching, because if you're posting something out there in social media or wherever that conflicts with the brand that you're presenting, it's going to destroy what you're trying to build. So to make sure that it does match you so that everything coalesces well is a very important point to keep in mind.
Yeah, so just for those that haven't had the opportunity to read it, it's talking about how we need to be ready, aim, fire. So we need to have clear direction. Sometimes we're fire, ready, aim, and we're backpedaling. And so the 6 keys to getting your brand is define your goals and do your research. Define your actual brand. Keep in mind the 3 C's of branding, which is certainty, consistency, and clarity, which is what Andrea was just mentioning. Look to the future. So know exactly where you are and where you want to be. Establish your presence. So consistently build your brand, whether it's in person or online, and take care of your brand. So if you're building online, making sure that there's not any distractions or people are coming into your page and destroying your brand. One of the other things that I got along with the consistency piece of it, and to add to what Anthony was saying, that from the couple times I heard Lindsay Teague Moreno speak, because I was having a little bit of trouble like encapsulating my brand, because to me it was like one word or one, picture or whatever. My brand actually is Vida Activa, which means the active life in Spanish. And so that's what I portray. I am the busy professional that has no time really to do anything, yet still wants to be healthy. That's my target audience. And so one of the tips that she actually said is create your 10 words of your best self, what you want to project. And then when you're posting online, make sure that whatever you're posting has at least 3 of those in them. And that's how you make sure your brand is consistent. So just to share with you guys again, my brand is Vida Activa, and my 10 words of what I'm trying to always project as far as my brand are, I am spiritual, I'm magnetic, I'm inspirational, I'm active, I'm vibrant, I'm fit, I'm spunky, relentless, tenacious, and compassionate. So when you see me post things on Facebook or you see me post things on Instagram, then it's got to fit into some of that. If you guys do follow me, I post inspirational quotes. Like I almost always do a Motivation Monday. I post pictures of my food because I'm trying to display that I'm fit and active. I'll post videos of my Just Dance. I'll post videos of my workout or something that has to do, or my steps that I did when I was walking through a plant. So that was one thing that really helped me hone in on what my brand was, and a way to know that I'm always am what I'm posting consistent with my brand by having those 10 keywords that describe my brand. And I know we had a few other people join. Do you guys have any thoughts even about past things that you've heard about creating and establishing your brand? Julie or Karen, anything to share?
Well, I don't know if I've actually established my brand. So no, I mean, I heard Lindsay. I love Lindsay. I have her book. I try to follow it somewhat, but I still am working on it.
So Julie, I just want to add to that really quickly, because Tashina actually mentioned something that was actually very key when she talked about her brand, Eat Activa. She talked about her target market. And so like, I know for like Lindsay, like her target market is like busy mamas who want to stay healthy and take care of their families. So that's how even the things that she posts, they're authentic. So like she has like a picture that she showed at convention, and it's like her house is messy, and she's like, I don't try to sugarcoat anything. She's like, this is what my house looks like on a regular basis, but my kids are staying above the wellness line because we're using Young Living products. I know for me with Man on the Move, like my target market are individuals who are all about progress in life. And so how does Young Living fit that? I think about things that I post with that. So, I think it's interesting, like Julie, you've made it this far without creating a brand, but think about the benefits of having a brand and being able to target a specific market that might correlate with you or find some type or resonate with you pretty well.
Alrighty. And then underneath this, there were Crush It was one of the additional reading resources by Gary Vaynerchuk. That was a really good book. I have listened to it, and it helps solidify creating your brand and differentiating yourself. And actually there is, I didn't even remember this, but there's also a personal coach that's been recommended by the Vital 180 team to work with. And so that's something to think about as well. If you're you feel like you need more training outside of what you're getting from the actual team, that's another avenue to help with some of that. The next tool was actually, we have a whole website.
Really quickly before we move on, Dana wanted to add something.
Okay.
I was just going to real quick add to talking about Crush It. So he also just recently released a book called Crushing It. And in that book, he actually has quite a few examples of people that have implemented the ideas and ideology behind Crush It and how successful they have become in doing so. And I love how he really breaks down different platforms, because while I do love Lindsay and her Getting Noticed book, she helps us hone in on social media in general, but she doesn't go specifically onto each platform. Whereas Gary goes very specific into each platform as to whether you're on YouTube or whether you're on Instagram or whether you're on, like, each platform is going to be done a little bit different. So even in Crushing It, he talks a little bit about, you know, if you're on all of these different social medias, you don't want to just copy and paste everywhere, because that's not how all of them work. Like, you know, Twitter is going to work a little bit different than Instagram, which works a little bit different than Facebook. So it's kind of important to know, and you're not going to be a master at all of them, but it's kind of important to know how each work individually and to see how you're marketing to your target audience.
Alrighty, I'll have to get that on my list. So the next tool that was mentioned was the Ninja Red website. So I don't know if everyone knew that we had a full website. And I thought this was really cool because I actually totally even forgot about this video, really, because I know that all of us here use Ninja Red. We're drinking it every day. And I know even myself, sometimes when I'm talking about living above the wellness line and things that people need to do to stay healthy, I forget to mention Ninja Red. And I don't think that I even explain why it's so good. And I need to remember that this video is sitting right on Vimeo, and I need to answer questions with tools. And so I need to remember that this is a video that you can send to other people. All right, any other thoughts on this portion? All right, then the next tool was just a reminder that, you know, as people are moving up, as they are senior stars, they are working towards executive, we always want to be a product of the product and make sure that they know about these promo levels. If we got people out there that are consistently spending 67, 79, 98 a month, do they know that if they just try a vitamin in there, that they'll get something free? So these are what we can use for our postcards. I do postcards monthly always. Sometimes if I don't have anything else to promote, then I'll just be sending, you know, the monthly promo so that people know. And I have had people thank me and say, oh, I saw that you sent that, and it made me want to spend a little bit more.
I will say this too, the way that it's marketed is on Vital 180 is, do you know that there's a way to get free product outside of Essential Rewards? I believe is the way that it stated it. And I know for Dana and I, like, a lot of times we forget about our ER points because we get more promo or more free items from promos. And that's because, you know, like Andrea said, and I believe someone else, I think Tashina, you mentioned, like, if you're already spending like almost $300 to $400 to $500 a month in product, you're getting every single free product that Young Living offers. And the nice thing about that is it's going to give you opportunities to try products that you may not have necessarily known about, thought about, or wanted to invest your ER points in. You know, so it is a great way to take advantage of, to try different free products. And if people aren't aware, they need to know what the promos are. And it's a great tool to use to boost your OGV for the month, you know, because like Tashina mentioned, sometimes you have a scenario where people are spending like $98 and they may not be aware that if they spent the extra $2, then they would get, you know, for whatever the free promo is at 100 PV. And you'll notice that you can see hikes in your OGV for the month. So, you know, if someone's spending between $50 and $100 and they can afford to spend $100, encourage them to, so they can get some of that free product without using their ER points.
I know myself, that's one of the things that I'm always telling people about. I haven't gotten enough people to take advantage of it, but I'm always telling them the benefits, because I would have probably been another year or so before I ordered Agiles and got it as a free promo, and I won't go without it now because of the benefits that I can feel in my body and how much easier I can move. Another other products that we've gotten. Some of them sat for a little while before I used them, and then they came up on my iTovi scan. I was like, wow, I don't have to order this now because I got it for free. You know, it's a wonderful way to get a variety of different products. We should definitely keep that in front of, you know, people who are on our down line.
Alrighty, and then just making sure people know how to use their ER points. And there's actually a Vimeo video from Young Living on how to redeem those. So that brings us to our belief section. And the first little handout was what you don't need. And so this is, you know, executive, when you're going from senior star to executive, you're going from where you're able to earn $250 a month to like $550 a month. And so this is where it really feels like a business. And so, and this is where, you know, you really have to start actually training someone else to get to executive, you know, because you have to have those two legs. And so this section really is trying to build your belief so that you know that you can do this. People have done it before you, and you can do this. So the things that you don't need any special training or background. You don't need other people's approval of what you do. You don't need to listen to other people's opinions, and you don't need to be perfect. You just need to get the skills necessary and put them into practice. We need to do the necessary reading. We need to do those action items that we've already been talking about as far as one-on-ones and or classes or home parties, or however is the best way for us to grow, and be consistent at that on a regular basis for months. And that's how we grow. Any other thoughts or comments on this document?
So I do want to add to that, because I feel like this is sometimes where people get caught up because they feel like they need to have all those things to get started. But I know I use the term a lot, ignorance on fire. Think about when you first got started with Young Living and you couldn't shut up about it, and you were just sharing with people. You weren't astute. You didn't know anything about the oils. You didn't know anything about the company. But yet people gravitated towards that, and you probably enrolled some individuals and not knowing any of that information. And so what the PDF was saying and what Tashina is saying is very true. You don't have to have all of those things to be successful in this business. The more knowledge that we gain, sometimes we feel like it's essential. And you have to remember that the more that you seem like you're the authority on everything, the less duplicatable it is. So also think about how that would affect your business, and think about how you were when you first got started compared to now, and maybe make some adjustments. Maybe you might have all that information, or you might have those doubts, or you might feel like you need approval from certain individuals and you don't. Think about how you felt when you first started, that ignorance on fire.
I was thinking this is a great thing to keep, especially for people if they're having a hard time, not sure they could do the business, to share this with them and maybe laminate it for some people who are easily influenced by others. Because I love what it brought out, that you don't need cheap advice. You know, people who don't know what they're talking about and have no experience will often tell you what you should or shouldn't do. But right there in print, sometimes when you see something in print, it's easier to absorb and believe than if you just tell them, hey, you don't need their opinion. But now you've got something to kind of back that up. So this could be a really good tool in not only keeping yourself on the straight and narrow, but helping to keep your downline working forward and not being, you know, knocked over by, you know, self-doubt or others' doubt.
Alrighty. The next was a video called Developing a Strong Mindset, and they were really talking about how reading and personal development is important. And so we need to make sure that we're scheduling that in on a daily basis, because plugging into other sources, including sometimes our upline. So, and that's one of the things that I thought was really good about this. Sometimes maybe our belief isn't that strong because maybe we don't have a team yet, or we haven't been able to maintain our rank yet. But you have all these awesome people on the team that have been sharing their stories, not because they want to brag, but because they want you to know that you can get there. So share, you know, like Monica's story. Monica's been able to pay off a bunch of debt. Julie's been able to pay off a bunch of debt within a 2-year time frame or within a 4-year time frame. That's what we're offering to people. And so if you don't have your own belief, continue to try to grow with that through personal development, but also leverage some of the stories that you hear around you. Most people don't have the strength or the will or the system they need to just pay off debt within 2 to 5 years. But this additional part-time income can help them do that. Any other points that anyone else got out of this video?
I liked that they brought out that you may pull somebody in who's not in your upline to help you go through whatever materials that it is that you're trying to read through. And it almost sounded like they were saying somebody that wasn't, or they actually, he alluded to saying somebody that's not even in Young Living, that's not our downline, have them go through the materials, and that can end up being a way of recruiting. But you've got to do something to help keep pushing your mind forward. And I kind of like that little tool because I have somebody in mind that I might do that with. She's a voracious reader and I'm not. And I think if I can get her to read through something with me as a benefit to me, it might raise her interest a little bit.
Yeah, that definitely is a good point. I've been in, mastermind sessions or breakfast clubs with other network marketing people where we shared things with one another, including like 25 to Life. I've shared it with somebody that's in a completely different business because it's an awesome tool, just like the 4-year career, in order to introduce people to the business of network marketing. Dana or Anthony, any thoughts?
So, I mean, in additionally talking about that, it's so important to reinforce the mindset on a daily basis. So I totally agree with everything that you were saying. 25 to Life, 4-year career. Those are really, really great books because, like you mentioned, Shashina, sometimes we present it in a way where this has to be the only way that you make income. But, sometimes people, they're just not aware that network marketing even exists. They're not aware of the business or the benefits that a business like network marketing can bring to their home, even if they never make millions of dollars. Let's say if they're making a couple $100 to $1,000 extra a month, it's really going to help benefit their household, and it's residual income. So using a tool or a book to help reaffirm that kind of mindset with an individual is just as important, because it's going to make them more open to even taking a look at what you may or may have, whether it may or may not be for them. So I totally agree that that's very important. Everyone still there? Did we lose them?
Sorry, I was on mute.
Okay.
Okay, so the next section, self-development, spend a minimum of 30 minutes a day. So again, we want to focus on our core business activities. We don't want to spend all our time doing self-development, but while you're getting ready in the morning, try to squeeze in that 30 minutes a day after you do your more important activities, spiritual activities, obviously. Put Your Dream to the Test is a really good audiobook. If I recall correctly, I didn't re-look at it or anything. It had a lot of good examples of individuals who had big dreams that were maybe their family or parents didn't support them, but it ended up being the right thing for them. I believe like one of the ones that they mentioned was like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and how really when he was 21, his whole path was planned out. Like he knew that he was going to be a fitness star, a movie star, and then into politics to change the world. Like he knew that already, and it was not what his parents wanted him to do. So it's just a good litmus test for you, making sure that you really are pursuing your own dream and what you need to do, and that it's authentic for you. And then I think I'm actually gonna, so The Perfect Business by Robert Kiyosaki. That is a very good video. It can be sent to prospects as well. But Robert Kiyosaki was like all the rage 5 to 7 years ago. Everybody read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and they still are employees doing the same thing that we're doing before. But it's really good to explain from Robert Kiyosaki why network marketing, someone who didn't earn his wealth from network marketing, but looking at it from a different angle, thinks that it really is the perfect business. Mm-hmm. And then the last one in the section, GoPro. Everybody needs to be listening to GoPro. So I just started re-listening to it. I haven't got through the majority of it the second time, so I'll let you guys mention some of your favorite parts, why it's important that everyone, really probably when they're star and decides to build the business, but at the very least at senior star, really reads this book over and over again, and tips that you need to be applying.
So I know my wife reminded me, I believe I've read GoPro a while ago, and I actually do need to go back and reread it. But Eric Worre was at convention last year, and even the tidbits he gave us in those 15, 20 minutes, I mean, they're phenomenal. So, I mean, if you can, not even a shameless plug, but if you can, make it to convention, because Eric Worre has another class for GoPro. But if not, start GoPro. It is an excellent book.
So I'll add to that. I think even in the very, very, very beginning, when he first starts, I love how he's like, strive to be a networking professional, right? So he talks about the posers, the amateurs, and the professionals. The posers, he say, treat this profession as a lottery ticket. They're hoping to hit it big with as little effort as possible. So those posers, they're like, oh, I'm going to sign up this, spa, and they're just going to take me to Royal Crown Diamond, and it's going to be amazing. Like, that's like hitting the lottery. Like, that's not realistic. That's not what, multi-level marketing is. Like, if that's what you're thinking, then like, it's probably not for you. Because are there examples where people do that? Absolutely. But is that the majority? Absolutely not. So then he talks about amateurs. Amateurs focus on luck, timing, positioning, and shortcuts. Can I get lucky and sign on a big distributor? Did I get into the business early enough? Did I miss the growth curve? Was it too small? Do other people have a better position than me? Do I have the right upline? So a lot of times amateurs are looking for angles. So they're the ones that they get real, real hot, and they're going for like 1, 2, 3 months. And then they're like, wait, I'm not making $1 million. What happened? And it's like, well, you didn't do and follow the system and do everything, that you needed to do. And then he talks about the professionals. They focus on putting in the long-term work to hone the skills that will make them successful. It will take years to become a world-class professional, but the great thing is you can make good money along the way. So I think that was one of the key things, like just from the beginning, like make sure when you're working this business, just like if you were going to school to be a doctor, if you were going to school to be a whatever nurse, like you have to learn skills. Like you're not going to just wing it. Like you have to know how to talk to people. Have to know, the best way to handle stuff. So you want to hone in on those skills and be a multi-level marketing professional, and really work towards that. How long do you want me to talk? Because like this book is huge. Like I can.
Well,
You can talk a couple more minutes.
Okay.
That's about all I got through of the book, so I can't really add any more than that. I mean, if you happen to write down what the 7 key skills would, that would be a good thing to share.
Okay, skill number 1, finding prospects. Skill number 2, inviting prospects to understand your product or opportunity. Hold on.
It goes through different approaches too, so she's going through those.
Yes. Skill number 3, presenting your product or opportunity. And I do like, okay, again, so when we go back to those 3 things, whether you're a poser, amateur, or professional, he goes through like, okay, if you're a poser, this is how you would do it. If you're an amateur, this is how you do it. But you want to be a professional, so this is the right way to do it. Skill number 4, following up with your prospects. Skill number 5, help your prospects become customers or distributors. Skill number 6, help your new distributor get started right. That's very important too. Don't just get them started going right and have the right tools. Skill number 7, promoting events. I do like in there too, we keep talking about convention. Get your ticket to convention. All these events are so crucial and important. Skill number 8, anything worthwhile takes time. So he talks about that formula of 1, 3, 5, 7. As a general rule, it will take you about 1 year to become competent and profitable in network marketing. You'll know the basics. You'll cover expenses and you'll be learning. It will take about 3 years of consistent part-time effort in order to go full-time. It will take about 5 years of consistent effort to become a 6-figure earner or above. And it will take about 7 years of consistent effort to become an expert. So I think that 1, 3, 5, 7 is really, really crucial too, that a lot of people kind of skim over.
But if you think about that though too, I mean, even a 7-year investment, there's people that go to school longer than that, and they don't come out, they come out in massive debt, or they don't come out in the position that network marketing allows an individual to have. And so if you think about it, even if you're working, your job, plan on working your job for the next 20, 30 years, 7 years is a lot shorter.
Mm-hmm.
So just to put things in perspective.
And I know for me, because I know that this is so powerful, when my people hit star, like they get this. So if you're on my team, I know you've gotten this. So go and listen to it. Like I love that it can come in audio. I have it in my cart for Amazon all the time because I like to make sure my team has this, because it really even walks you step by step exactly what to say. If it's a cold market, if it's warm market, if it's because another thing that I do appreciate about Eric Worre is he had already been in different multi-level marketing companies, and he completely lost everything. So he was young. He was going back to these same people, with a new product, new presentation or whatever, but yet he was able to still use the proper words to maybe sometimes edify other people, and still help them understand his opportunity.
Alrighty. So yeah, GoPro is essential. If you feel like you don't have the right words to communicate with people, if you need to hone on any of these skills, it's definitely another resource to use to get some of those skills. And I too, like when I was Senior Star, I listened to it over and over and over and over and over and over again as an audiobook. Andrea, have you had a chance to read that?
I have not. It was on my list to purchase, and then when I was prepping for this, going through not this section, but actually the next section down, the link led to an offer to get the book cheaper than on Amazon, and then get the audio version for only a little bit more. So I did that, and then it came up with another offer of a 3-module training, and I decided, you know what? Everything I've heard when he spoke, the way he speaks, I like it. I can absorb it. I can understand it. Where some of the other speakers, it takes a little more work, so I thought it would be worth it. So I went ahead and plunked the money down, and I'm waiting for all that to come in. But the audiobook, I think I'm going to get a link later. I'm supposed to get it later today, I think. Anyway, to get to the audiobook. So I'm going to start listening to that tomorrow.
All right. And then the next section is just talking about daily motivation. So it's definitely good to start out your day with a positive thought, whatever that is for you. And it gives you some different tools. You can get a Minute from Maxwell, Darren Hardy daily, or Eric Worre's daily. I tend to get some of these come via email, and I tend to get inundated with email. So I think I signed up for one of these one before, and then I got one via text, and it went on for a little while. But I pretty much go and look for my daily motivation because it's a little bit easier for me that way. But I'm constantly looking for quotes or information, and especially in the beginning, again, when I was Star and Senior Star, I spent hours on Eric Worre's website just reviewing his interviews with different network marketing professionals over and over, just learning from different people, things that were important to them, techniques, stuff like that. So that daily motivation is very key and important.
I would have to agree with that too. I know for me, especially being that I'm more timid with things, I have a lot of self-doubt with things. I have to make sure that's a part of my starting day. Though, as crazy as this sounds, I need people to be like, rah, rah, you're awesome, you can do this. So like, I tend to like Eric Thomas, I like Tom Bilyeu. Like Tom Bilyeu has this thing where to kind of music, and like he has all of these powerful quotes, but it's like the way he delivers it, it almost sounds like poetry, but it's like, I don't know, it's like it's my hurrah rah type thing, which I need to kind of get me out of my own mindset. So for me, those are a few that I like, but there's quite a few that in the morning that I'll just kind of use to get my mind right and on a positive note.
Yeah, I do sometimes listen to those type of motivational videos, pre-created videos that have some of those motivational speakers. And I also have a song list. Like I have these like 5 songs that I have to listen to in the morning. It used to actually be 4. The last one currently is Champion by Carrie Underwood and Ludacris. Like that is part of my set before I go into work. Like I have to listen to those 5 songs, and it's that rah-rah, it's that, you know, the boxer before you get into the ring. Like that's the beginning of my day. I'm going to conquer my GM part of my day, and then later do, you know, my volunteer preaching, and then later I'm going to do my 1 or 2 hours of Young Living. So Andrea, anything that you currently do to try to get in the mindset before you do some type of Young Living work?
No, well, other than just my own positive self-talk and picturing what this is going to do for me, I'm not really too much on a motivational speaker. Most of them, I don't know why. I guess being a born skeptic, they usually don't. But I think I just signed up for the daily inspirations from 2 of them. The third link for Eric Worre actually took me to what I told you earlier. It wasn't a daily thing from him. So I'm looking forward to see. Maybe that will help in some way that I didn't anticipate, because you don't know what you don't know until you try it. But at this point, I'm still baby steps. I'm far behind you guys, so I really appreciate learning what works for you guys, because you never know how it might work for me.
Right. And then too, as you know, as we have reiterated over and over, our goal is to have a team of hundreds of people, and all of them are going to have different personalities. And even if it doesn't work for you at all, you may have someone on your team later that needs that, and at least oh, I know where you can get that type of motivation.
Very good point. That's right.
All right, and then the very last thing, because we're coming down to the home stretch, was the video The Meaning by Jim Carrey. And this is one that I've seen people post before, and I absolutely love it. And he's just talking about going after your dreams, not worrying about how much time it takes, living your authentic self. He mentions how he knows that he was given the gift of humor and making people laugh, and it helps bring out the best in other people. And his father was given that same gift, and his father didn't pursue that gift. His father wouldn't do it because he was afraid, and he watched his father get let go from a company and die penniless, not pursuing his dreams. And so he just thought, if I never make it, I'd rather die penniless doing what I love than die penniless because I lived my life hating my life. And he did become successful. So it was just a little bit of motivation for everyone out there to just keep trying and don't worry about how long it takes. Anyone else want to share what they got out of the video?
There was something that he said, and I can't remember how he phrased it in the video, but it's something like to the extent of, like, when we try to live so that we impress other individuals, or the same way, like, we lose ourselves and we don't live up to our full potential because we're trying to live by what is socially accepted. And so that kind of resonated with me, just because I know hands down that is me all day long. And so, we have to recognize that we each have skills and abilities that we can bring to this business that will make us phenomenal in it. And so we have to learn to put aside, like, trying to be accepted by everybody else, because, I think of the quote that says you must be willing to do the things that most people don't, to have the things that most people won't, So instead of trying to fit in and worrying about what other people think, pursue what you're good at and use that asset in this business, and you'll go far. So that did kind of resonate with me. I have to go back and watch it again to see how he specifically phrased it, because that was like a aha moment for me. But I thought it was a really good video.
Yeah, I did appreciate that aspect of it too. And even Eric Worre mentioned that in GoPro. He's like, you have to realize that you're going to lose some self-esteem when you get into network marketing, because there's all these people that are like, I tried that thing. And, I go to networking events all the time, and I experience and I hear that. Like, people hear that I work for GM, and they're like, but you're selling oils? Like, you got a good job. I don't get it. But from what we know from the information from The Perfect Business, it's like, yeah, I have a good job. I work 35 to 45 hours a week. I have to go to other states and countries based on other people's schedules. I don't have the freedom. So Young Living is going to give me that freedom, and I need to focus on that and not worry about what other people think. All right, any last thoughts while I pull up what we're going to go over next week? Alrighty, so we're gonna go over the share section of the executive training and come prepared to talk about effective closing skills. So that would be this section here. So it looks like there's lots of videos. So video and effective listening, closing skills that's more product-based, closing skills that are more business, and creating independent members, not dependent members, and a little bit more in our target market. So that is what we will be going over next week. All right. Any other last thoughts?
Get your ticket for a convention.
Yes.
We can't stress that enough. I mean, that's really the push. There's about a little over a month away, so get your ticket.
Okay, I'm going to read this real quick. I'm going to be real quick. It says, the most powerful type of event is the destination event. A destination event is one where most of the attendees travel to a different city, stay at a hotel, and participate in a conference or convention. Professionals make destination events a priority for themselves and their group. You must do whatever you can to go to destination events regularly and encourage those in your group to do the same. Lead by example. Figure out whatever you have to do to get to them. The amateur buys objections and doesn't commit to go. The professional has a completely different mindset and works with people in his group to overcome objections and bring them along with them. Tell them your story of commitment and success. Don't buy theirs. Get to convention.
Yes, for sure. Like we can't even explain to you how much it will increase your belief and explode your business. You just have to be there. And coming from people that it was not easy to get to their first convention, it will be worth it. And you won't have to worry about another convention once you make that commitment again. It's just, we can't stress it enough. We can't explain it enough. It's just, you got to be at convention if your health allows you to do something like that. And if you need help, talk to your upline. You have plenty of upline that, may be able to help you get a ticket, may be able to help you get a payment plan for a ticket, may be able to find some space in a hotel room for you. So just get your ticket. And if getting the ticket is an issue, talk to your upline silver immediately to get the help that you need. And with that, it is still 9:30 and we will close the call on time. Thank you, everyone.
Everyone have a good night.
End of the month. Stay busy, stay sharp, work hard next 30 hours or so. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Everybody, have a good week.